There is a sad news right now that the mortgage rate has reached the highest since the beginning of 2026. Additionally, according to the Case-Shiller report, Phoenix home price has dropped compared to 2025. What those information mean to you as a buyer and a seller in this webinar, in this episode, I will reporting all the data, all the facts, and tell you the conclusion about those data. With that, let's dive right into the information. In front of you right here is a table produced by Comfort Associates. This table is basically telling you how the market is moving in each cities of the Maricopa County, and there's 18 of them, right? For those of you who haven't watched my videos, if the number here is more than 110, that means that city is in the seller's market. And as of right now, we have about 10 cities that in the seller's market. If the number is between 90 and less than 110, which two cities, Avondale and Peoria, those are the cities that in the balanced market. And when we talk about the balanced market, that means the buyers and the seller has a fair negotiation power when it comes to buying a house. No side is better than the other side. And when the index is less than 90 points, which including these 6 cities right here, we're talking about Goodyear, Surprise, Santan Valley, Maricopa, Creek Creek, and Buckeye, right? Those are the area that is in the buyer's market, meaning the buyers has more negotiation power than the seller, because in those areas, there's not a lot of available buyers, and the seller tend to be willing to accept the price, the negotiation that the buyer give to the sellers. So we have 6 of them that is in the buyer's market, which is Goodyear, Surprise. Oh, I already said about that. Sorry about that. And the unique thing about these cities is they are the outskirt area, the outskirt cities of Maricopa County. In Goodyear, in the east, Surprise in the northwest. Goodyear is in the west, Surprise is in the northwest, Santan Valley, Maricopa, Creek Creek are in the east, and Buckeye is all the way to the west, right? Those are the outskirt area. We're talking about 10 cities here that is in the seller's market already. One of the things that you see there is Chandler is still at the number 2. You normally see Chandler very often at the high rank in this table many times. The second point that I want to point out is the changes. According to this table, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cities that moving up, changing up, increasing the comfort market index toward the seller's point, which is higher. Now, they are not in the seller's market, for example, Santan Valley, right, still 69.2, but they are moving more favorable to the seller. And then the rest, 11 cities actually moving toward the buyer's market. One of the top decline is Tempe, dropped 15% from 136 points last week. Now is last month. Now it's only 116 of this month. And the highest increase is Paradise Valley, moving from 106, now it's go up to 123. So it's very great change, all right? Very, very big change. Now, when you see a lot of drop like this, a lot of people will think it is a crashing market, meaning everyone has moved toward the buyer side, right? And that means you have a favorable market for the seller. Yes and no, because here's the thing. When you do the average of all the changes in here, the average market change was actually only 0.3% down, okay? And by the way, when the last week decline was 1.5%. So even though both weeks have a decline comfort market index, however, this week it is better situation. And by the way, 0.3 is not that much. This is very simple. The buyers are actually waiting for this. This is the reason why it is not a crashing, is because the number is too small. Okay, the index too small, 0.3%. This is only simple telling us that the buyers and the sellers are waiting. The buyers are waiting for what? They are waiting for the lower interest rate. The sellers are waiting for the stronger demand. And neither side is making any big move. So when you have a low demand, right, the supply is also low. Both doesn't change the price that much. By the way, we'll talk about price in the next slide. But hear me out, okay? If the demand low, and the supply price doesn't change. If the demand low, the supply higher, then the price drop. If the supply go higher, the demand also higher, the price normally stay as well. So either case, as of right now, it's not a crashing market. It's a waiting game. It's a waiting market. That's what happening in nowadays. And like I point out, Chandler is still the second strongest market in Maricopa County right now, with only 1% decline, basically like 1.4 point decline compared to last month. By the way, I do have a buyer webinar which is specifically designed for immigrant first-time home buyer. In this webinar, I talk about how to save for the down payment in a smart way, in a way that creating the foundation, a financial foundation family, not just about home. I will also talk about how to choose, how to select the right house for your family and not rushing into the emotion of the beauty, right? It has to be the perfect house family situation. We'll cover those topics as well as everything you need to know about the home buying process. And I'm doing this completely free for you. If you are interested, or if you know someone who may be buying a house in 2026, feel free to scan the QR code below and sign up and attend next week webinar. Okay, all right. So let's go to the next data, which talking about data. So data is from Case-Shiller report. Now the difference Comfort Associate and Case-Shiller is Comfort Associate normally reporting Arizona locally, and Case-Shiller is reporting for many other cities across country. Okay, this chart in front of you right here is the month-over-month percentage change. And this is, by the way, the newest report, January to March of 2026. This is the newest one because they normally report in a quarterly basis. Okay, according to this chart, we have Phoenix right here that increased the price month-over-month at 0.33%. Okay, now this number is below the national of 0.72%. And it's also behind many other major cities, including Chicago, San Francisco, and Boston as well. Okay, so it's not a good number. In fact, it's the lowest price increase of all the data, all the Phoenix that I think it's about 20 that you can see right here. Okay. The second chart right here is showing the home price for year over year. Okay, this chart shows that the home in Phoenix dropped 0.16%, dropped about 1.6%. That is not good, right? So meaning you have the low is not only not increased but also decreased price from 2025 to 2026, and worse, the national average is 0.67%. So while the rest of a lot of cities, it has an increase in home price, Phoenix has a price drop. Now, when people hear that, many immediately assume that Arizona housing market is crashing again. But that's not what the data is really telling us. This data is not just for Phoenix, keep in mind, right? It's the reporting of all other cities across the country. And as you see here, there's many cities that in, the strong appreciation. And there's also many cities that in, market in price, including Phoenix. Okay. Now, Why do I say market correction? Mainly happened because during COVID, during 2020, 2021, the home price has increased tremendously. We're talking about 25%, 20% year over year. So it's a significant increase during those periods. And now, because of that, Phoenix cannot go any higher, cannot even go to 0.60%, right? It has to slowly adjust the price, making sure that everybody is comfortable with the price. So that is good because number one, is not drop that causing tremendous market craziness, but it doesn't not change. It doesn't go up forever and causing lesser demand, right? So that is actually a very healthy change, very healthy decline of Phoenix market right now. Okay, so last but not least, I want to talk about the interest rate. Okay, as of right now, the 30 years interest rate for entire market is 6.48% versus the years rate is 5.79%. You see in the green one right here, 6.48 in the blue one right here. And that actually the highest interest rate since the beginning of 2026 as of right now. Okay, so according and then they still have a trend continue going up. And crazy because people thinking that the interest rate go down by the end of 2026, right? It is not the case here. So I want to use this as an opportunity to mention again, it's very extremely difficult to time the market. No one knows exactly for how the market will behave in the future. Right? We can look at the past and kind of guessing what happened in the future, but it's not really like the correction is extremely low. Rate is extremely low, right? I mean, who tomorrow whether it's gonna go up or whether it's go down? Is it at the top already and the next day it's go down, right? But if it is not, it will continue to go up. I think that's the reason why normally when I talk to a new buyer, I have to guide them in reading the monthly payment at the current time because no one knows what the future gonna look like. So we have to know the current monthly mortgage payment so that as long as you feel comfortable with that monthly payment and not making the dream house become the nightmare, right, causing all the financial trouble, then you're ready to buy. That's what I call a purchasing power. We look at the purchasing power by look at the monthly payment and whether your family income can afford that financial that monthly payment. That is more important than predicting. A lot of people are waiting interest rate, and I do understand that when the interest rate go lower, your monthly expense reduce significantly, right? But my point is that when will that happen? No one knows for sure until you actually calculate the monthly payment. And that's exactly the number one thing that I always recommend people to look at that before doing else. Okay. And those are the things that I mentioned in the bio webinar as well that I mentioned earlier. And if you are interested or you know someone who may be interested in purchasing a home or maybe thinking about attend and learn about the home buying process, and I will ask any question you might have online as well. All right. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.